Senegal has won the Africa Cup of Nations for the first time, beating seven-time champions Egypt on penalties. So just how significant is that victory for Senegal? Steve Wilson is a football commentator.
Well, it's absolutely crucial for Senegal. They've been such an exciting football team on the continent of Africa and in world football for something like 20 years now. They really emerged for the first time, I suppose, on the world stage in 2002 with a spectacular overachievement at the World Cup finals of that year. But months prior to that, they had reached the final of AFCON, which was held in Mali that year, and lost the final on penalties to Cameroon. I was lucky enough to see that team in Mali. They were an exciting side, and they've been an exciting nation in football terms ever since, without quite achieving this goal. So to finally, I suppose, after a 20-year quest at least, to have lifted that trophy for the first time is of huge significance for them in sporting terms.
And what is the wider global significance of Senegal's victory?
Well, great kudos, of course, for the country, for the individuals, of course, involved as well. I think you would say now that Sadio Mane, who plays for Liverpool, of course, in the English Premier League, but who scored the winning penalty in the shootout which defeated Egypt in the final, would now possibly be a contender for some of the game's greatest honours this year. You know, could he be a contender for the World Player of the Year? That is a possibility. And of course, that in itself, even if he's a contender, would bring great kudos to Senegalese football, to African football in general as well. So the president has declared a national holiday in Senegal, and you know, they will party on after this victory for some time, I'm sure. But it lends the country and certainly the football team a worldwide gravitas.
Steve, one other big football story we must talk about. The UK and Ireland have dropped their bid for the 2030 World Cup, opting instead to bid for the 2028 Euros. What's behind this decision?
Well, on the face of it, it appears to be, from what's been said so far, a very pragmatic financial decision, that the cost of bidding for a World Cup is high, and that it seems as though the United Kingdom, who are individual football associations but who come together for this bid, have decided that, quite simply, it seems that hosting the European Championship of 2028 might be a cheaper bet. It may also be a safer bet. And because let's not forget that 2030, the proposed World Cup bid date, would be the 100th anniversary of the very first World Cup, which was held in Uruguay. And there is a joint South American bid involving Uruguay, along with Paraguay, Chile and Argentina. So it would be perhaps, you know, appeal to the romantic if FIFA were to decide 100 years on to take the World Cup finals back to a bid which included Uruguay and perhaps host the final in the Estadio Centenario, what better name for a stadium for the 100th anniversary World Cup, where that first World Cup final was hosted in 1930. So it may be that the UK FAs looked at the hand that they held, looked at the hand that others hold, and there are other European bids too, and decided that their chances of winning in 2030 were not as good as they might have liked, and that their money might be better spent on bringing the Euros to the UK in 2028. That's not a certainty either, though, Jamie, because, of course, Wembley and England hosted the semi-finals and final of the Euros in 2021. UEFA may deem that just 7 years later is a little bit early.